Do you know what the fifth leading cause of death is in the United States? The answer? Strokes. Strokes are a serious problem in the U.S. Not only are they the fifth leading cause of death, they are also a leading cause of disability. Here in Maryland, the numbers are even worse. Stroke climbs up the charts to be the third leading cause of death. That's pretty scary. Now, let's get even closer to home. In Baltimore City, more people die from strokes than the Maryland average. But it's not all bad news. There is something you can do. The first step? Get educated. And that's what this video is here to help you do. I know what you're thinking. So what exactly do I need to know? Well, we'll go through the who, what, when, where, why, and how of strokes. All of your most important questions answered in just a few minutes. So let's get started.
First thing first, what is a stroke?
That's a great question. According to the American Stroke Association, a stroke is defined as a disease that affects the arteries leading to and within the brain. A stroke occurs when a blood vessel that carries oxygen and nutrients to the brain is either blocked by a clot or burst. When that happens, part of the brain cannot receive the blood and oxygen that it needs, and so those brain cells die. It's kind of like a traffic jam on the highway of your body and nothing is getting through. There are several different types of strokes: ischemic, hemorrhagic, and mini strokes, which are called TIAs, or transient ischemic attacks. Ischemic strokes are most common, accounting for 85% of strokes. In an ischemic stroke, there's a blood clot that blocks blood from going to your brain. Hemorrhagic strokes account for 15% of strokes and happen when a blood vessel in your brain is weak and bursts, which causes bleeding. There's only a small amount of extra room in your head, and when that blood builds up, it puts a lot of pressure on the brain. A mini stroke is more like a warning sign that a full-blown stroke is going to occur. It's a short-term stroke that clears up on its own, like a traffic jam that unblocks quickly. They usually last less than 24 hours and let you know that you should get help before a real stroke occurs.
So if this is what happens inside the body, what does it look like from the outside? How would I know if I'm having a stroke?
Here are some common signs and symptoms and questions to ask yourself. The one-sided facial droop? Is my smile even? Arm weakness. Does one arm have weakness? Speech difficulty. Is my speech slurring? Why does the person I'm speaking with look confused? Trouble seeing? Can I see clearly? Motor function dysfunction. Can I walk without problems? Am I losing my balance? Sudden severe headache. Am I having a really bad headache?
Okay, now I know what a stroke is, but I'm probably not at risk, right? Who exactly has to worry about having a stroke?
Actually, there are many different things that can put you at risk, and it's important to know if you are. It doesn't mean you need to worry, but it does mean that you need to be informed. Some things can't be helped. We call those non-modifiable risk factors. For example, African Americans and males are both at higher risk of having a stroke. These risk factors also include older age, greater than 55, and a family history of stroke or heart attack. There are also health conditions that can increase your risk for stroke, including high blood pressures, diabetes, sleep apnea, and heart disease. On the other hand, there are some things that you can have an impact on. These are called your modifiable risk factors. They include being overweight, inactivity, heavy or binge drinking of alcohol, cigarette smoking, and illegal drugs like cocaine. Moral of the story? Know what puts you at risk and make changes where you can.
Why is all of this important?
Well, it can happen to you or someone you love. Stroke risk may increase with age, but in 2009, 34% of people who were hospitalized for stroke were less than 65 years old. And in a 2008 survey done by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or CDC, only 38% of participants were aware of all the major symptoms of having a stroke.
But we covered that already.
Right, but there's more. The reason you need to know what a stroke looks like is that the most important predictor of long-term effects and even death after stroke is how quickly you receive treatment. How fast you receive treatment can determine how much of your brain is damaged. In fact, the difference between making a recovery and paralysis or death could come down to just minutes.
Okay, so it's important to get treated right away. When it happens, what do I do?
It's easy. Act fast. That's FAST. It's the best way to spot a stroke and remember your plan of action. Remember those signs and symptoms we talked about? Well, here they are again. F is for face drooping. A is for arm weakness. S is for speech difficulty. T is for time to call 911. When you notice these symptoms, call 911 immediately, even if the symptoms disappear. Once at the hospital, doctors can begin treatment right away. This treatment may include several different things. Ischemic strokes are treated with a drug called TPA, which works to dissolve the clot and improve blood flow to the affected areas. But here's the catch. TPA can only be administered within 3 hours and up to 4.5 in certain patients. Do you see now why it's important to act fast?
I sure do. So now that I know all this, where do I go from here?
Well, let's talk prevention. Here's where we see a more uplifting statistic. 80% of all strokes are preventable. Remember all of those modifiable risk factors that we looked at? Make a change, even a small one. Here are some ideas. Control your blood pressure. More than half of all strokes are caused by high blood pressure, so this is the most important risk factor to control. Exercise regularly. Decrease and manage your stress. Maintain a healthy weight. Limit your salt and alcohol intake. Decrease the amount of cholesterol and fat in your diet and increase the amount of fruits and vegetables. Stop smoking and avoid drug use. Control your diabetes and blood sugar and get treatment for sleep apnea.
This has really opened my eyes. How can I get more information?
Well, there are many great organizations and websites that you can go to. Here are a few. The American Stroke Association has information for the public, including the FAST resource and facts about stroke. The National Institute of Health website includes interactive videos for health education. The National Stroke Association has applications for therapy, wallet cards, stroke risk scorecards, a stroke hotline, and sponsored events. Each of these websites offers rehabilitative information, virtual support groups, and may help you find local support in the community. You can also make an appointment to talk to your healthcare provider.
¿Necesita información en español? Hay varias organizaciones que ofrecen recursos en su idioma que están listados aquí.
Well, there you have it. The who, what, when, where, why, and how of strokes. We hope that this has been a quick and informative introduction to a very important topic. Please don't hesitate to reach out to the resources provided. And remember, when it comes to strokes, act fast.